this world? What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
Rebel News, oh dear.
Except for one. On Friday, a race took place in which there were 9 of the participants were teenage girls. They were either 13 or 14. And one participant, if you can imagine, was a male, age 50. That's right, a 50-year-old against teenage girls. Now, the name of this person is Nicholas Sapita. He goes by his alias these days, and that would be Melody Weishart.
I think I saw him on Gaffney Street yesterday.
The very idea that a 50-year-old male is competing against teenage girls, it goes beyond parody. That's why my cameraman Efren and I have come to the Pan Am Center. We want to find out why this travesty is being allowed. What does the Richmond Hill Aquatic Center have to say about it? What does the governing body, Swim Ontario, have to say about this? And even Nicholas's own club, the Orangeville, off by concerned parents of swimmers, that a 50-year-old man got to compete against teenage girls at a Friday event. We're just wondering, how does a 50-year-old male get to compete with teenage girls?
Well, it's not actually, I don't think that it happened because I'm actually the competition coordinator for this meet. I do not recall there's a 50-year-old man swimming in here on the Friday, competing with little kids.
It was him. It was him.
It's based in Swimming Ontario and Swimming Canada system.
Okay.
So when we actually run the meet, we're validating the registration of the swimmer, making sure that they're registered, and also their time for the swim.
Okay.
So what happened is that when we accept those swim entries, that's what we do. It's all going through a system running by Swimming Canada.
Useless.
So what happened is that, yes, it's my mistake. We did actually, indeed, there was someone actually swimming on that. However,
useless.
That would be Melody, right?
Well, I don't know exactly because I wasn't present. So
there's no name on that list?
Yes, there's a name in here. That's why I'm saying I'm validating whatever the heat sheet that you have is correct.
Okay.
However, the meet was open age sections. So what happened is that session is actually allow any age swimmer. I don't get into with me on age because it's all based on what Swimming Canada's registration.
But Mr. Chan, what I don't understand is that 9 out of the 10 participants were female and either 13 or 14, and the 10th participant was a male, 50 years of age.
Okay, so as I said, don't talk about gender for me because I do not know.
Still didn't
the
win.
Registration, whatever they enter, this is a 13-year-old girl.
Shame on you, dickhead.
So the registration in Swimming Canada.
Looks like he still lost by 2 seconds.
We're validating. We only have a girl and male event.
I mean, so we get the idea. We get the idea.
One of the interesting things too is like, you know, we're on the brink of World War III. You know, like, you know, you have, you know, like a terrible situation in the Ukraine that's been going on for 2 years, where basically Zelensky, you know, who's not a Ukrainian, by the way, has run out of young Ukrainian men to kill. You know what I mean? So Russia's kind of like going to achieve a peace deal because I don't think he can, you know, and he's also run out of money. You know, and also then this other thing is kicked off in the Middle East. And, you know, if you know anything about Middle East politics, basically they're getting rid of the Gaza ghetto. You know what I mean? They're you know, obviously.
Can we just go back, just stay on the subject of this? Because
the point of that story is so that we
point out is this guy.
Like it's just bullshit.
It reminded me of when Robin got really fired up the other day. I think she was with Michael, or I think, yeah, and you were just going, enough is enough. Like, stop making excuses. We need to, like, instead of going, oh, you know, I'm just following orders, you know, that same sort of thing. This is the same sort of thing. He's just like, oh, it's not me. It's the swimming board of Canada. They're allowing it. I don't know how old he is. I wasn't there. How about you just fucking stand up and grow some balls and go, fuck, this is wrong, man. I don't agree with this either. Yep. Like, you know, maybe even say my hands are tied. But I was talking to this with a good friend of mine, Natalie Spence, who's a film director as well. And she goes, I told her this exact thing. And she goes, I'm fucking sick of it. She goes, that's not an excuse. How about you just fucking go, this is a male who should not be, like, he's just making excuses. It's an open section. If it's an open section, it's still females. He's a biological male. It's obviously for females and for young females as well. You know, if it was for, it's open, but it's a swim meet where you're only expecting kids under 15 or 16. So it's a load of fucking rubbish. I'd be going, what the fuck are you doing?
This is a really
But
good
I'd be suspicious that something like this is a deliberate. It's a deliberate. You know, that someone's been paid.
No, Richard, I'd really love for it to just be a whatever. No, this just is a great example of your everyday person, right? This guy is an everyday American, and this guy or whoever he is, whatever, he's an everyday person, and he is there. He's part of the organization. He's part of the system for the pool and all the rest of it, and he's got the paperwork in front of him. And this is a perfect example of the cognitive dissonance. And he's got the names, the numbers, all in front of him, and he just cannot compute. His own computer in his mind says no because of the indoctrination. It's a really great example of the general public who have it in front of them and they just cannot. Okay, it might be intimidating with a camera in front of them. A lot of people are afraid to voice their opinion when there's a camera in front of them, fine. But he was adamant. He was right there on point. He will be lining up to work for the council or the government, the next roll round. Because we have these people that just have paperwork, numbers, figures in front of them, and they still will reiterate this nonsense. It's
being a good German. They're being a good German. That's my opinion. And like Victoria just pointed out here, one would question, why did old mate even want to compete? That's my problem with the whole thing. I reckon it's actually sickening that a 50-year-old would dress up and then go, I won. You're like,
I mean, it's like, weird because it's the kind of thing that even if you know people from the trans community, it's something they don't do actually. You know what I mean? That's why it's suspicious to me when these kind of things happen and you've got Rebel News covering it and it's like, I don't know. It seems like it's deliberately almost manufactured, this event. Create, look at this, and then there's all these articles on everyone on Fox News and Rebel.
That's a good point.
Did the guy even show up? I mean, it's like they manufactured this just so we all talk about it rather than talk about, for example, the children that are being murdered in Gaza every day. As the
island
ghetto is being, because most right wingers support Israel for some reason.
I've got a different theory. I don't think it's manufactured because people can get caught out like that. I think it's a sickness that is in.
I think ideology has
sickness, and it's an ideology.
Ideology,
and people are trying to prove themselves, but at the same time, they're actually bringing ill repute to themselves because
this ideology.
I see this guy as a cheater. He's got an advantage. I mean, this is why you don't allow steroids.
Is it really?
I mean, if a 50-year-old is trying to compete against 13-year-old girls, it has nothing to do with him wanting to cheat or it's because he's a pervert. Okay, there's only one reason.
Yeah,
that's it. Okay, so don't kid ourselves. It's got anything to do with sport. You know what I mean? Like it's
well, it depends on what kind of sport, Richard.
You can't tell what this is. It could be manufactured, or it could just be that this kind of propaganda in our media has emboldened certain demented individuals to try crazy things like this in reality. And either way, it's sick and crazy.